Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. Whitehaven Coal Chairman Mark Vaile says it's in the best interest of the University of Newcastle and the community for him to decline an offer to become Chancellor after a massive backlash. Mr Vaile bowed to public pressure yesterday, withdrawing his acceptance of the position. It came after academics, students and major donors raised concerns his association and support for the coal industry was at odds with the university's stated carbon neutral goal by 2025. In a statement, Mr Vaile said he'd been subjected to unwarranted attacks by minority groups, placing ideology before proper governance, but felt the decision to step away was the best course of action. Hunter ambulance paramedics are again taking industrial action today, despite the announcement of a 2.5% pay rise from July 1. They'll only be responding to life-threatening emergencies. The Health Services Union says the salaries of New South Wales paramedics are not keeping pace with their interstate counterparts. Union Secretary Gerard Hayes says paramedics will still respond in urgent circumstances.
The ambulance service is there to supply support to the community. The important issue is that any serious case or any life-threatening case will certainly be responded to. Low acuity cases will take some time to respond to.
A Hunter organisation has released their wish list ahead of today's announcement of this year's state budget. Business Hunter is urging the state government to include local infrastructure and address the region's housing affordability crisis in the budget. CEO Bob Hawes says he's determined to make sure the Hunter is not ignored.
We understand it's going to be tricky for the government to some extent. It's just going to be making sure that we're not losing sight of the programs and the policies and the initiatives that were in place. It's going to be ambitious, but we'll be looking through the detail to make sure that this region hopefully doesn't miss out as a consequence of other priorities and urgent matters that the government feels that it has to attend to.
A Hunter wildlife group is up in arms over the destruction of a local waterhole near a Thornton housing development. The group says the site is covered by an environment management zoning and is an important wildlife corridor. They're worried council is allowing developers to disturb important green spaces. Maitland Council says the developer obtained all the relevant approvals, with the work part of a stormwater strategy, and the area will be revegetated. Hunter farmers affected by the mouse plague can now apply for a $1,000 emergency payment. Rural Aid has announced a funding pool of $1 million to help the agriculture industry recover. CEO John Walters says it's a widespread problem which needs a lot of assistance.
It's a problem being experienced across 4 states, so it's impacting thousands and thousands of farming families. So Rural Aid wanted to jump in and give those people some hope and some relief against the situation that they're encountering.
The federal government is hosting a jobs fair in Newcastle today, hoping to connect hundreds of job seekers with positions in the aged care and disability support sectors. Newcastle has been chosen to host the Care Fair because the Hunter has been assessed as one of several areas in Australia where there's strong demand for aged care and disability services workers. It'll be held at the Next Newcastle Exhibition and Conference Centre. 26 employers from the aged care, early childhood education and disability support sectors are recruiting for staff in skilled and unskilled roles. Job seekers are urged to register for the event.
2NURFM Sport.
Newcastle Rugby League player Holly Wheeler has been selected for New South Wales in the Women's State of Origin on Friday. It's an impressive return for the 31-year-old who ruptured her ACL last year. Wheeler told NBN News her return couldn't have happened without a support network.
To be honest, I'm just so thankful that my partner and support crew were there and they made everything better each time I felt down.
Newcastle Knights and New South Wales powerhouse Daniel Saifidi has warned Queensland supporters he can still improve on his Game 1 performance. The 25-year-old was influential in the Blues' 50-6 drubbing of the Maroons in Townsville, scoring a try and gaining close to 150 metres. Charlestown golfer Jake Higginbottom hopes a change in coaching personnel will help him find consistency. The 27-year-old has worked with Gary Barter for more than 10 years, but has moved on to join Grant Field's camp. Barter will compete at the New South Wales Foursomes at Strathfield today, and former Newcastle basketball junior Ben Simmons has come under fire for a disappointing performance for Philadelphia. The 76ers went down 103-96 to Atlanta and bowed out of the NBA playoffs. That's sport. I'm Patrick Alderton.
And the winning numbers in Monday Lotto are 3, 18, 33, 38, 40 and 43, and the supplementaries are 8 and 34. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.